Neil Diamond on 101 FM. I'm having a wry grin. The reason I'm grinning right now is Darcy Ward's here and his lovely girlfriend Lizzie is here as well. And you know, if you don't say to people, turn your phone off, you know what's going to happen, don't you? The phone's going to start ringing, and that's exactly what happened. Anyway, good morning, Lizzie. Good morning, Darcy.
Yeah, how we going, mate?
And you discovered, Darcy, there are 2 railway parades.
Yeah, we are. You just punch it in the phone and think, oh, that's the one, and then you get to it and it's a house and think, maybe not.
That woman in that house is so fed up with people turning up for these interviews because it happens. It just happens all the time. Anyway, you got here now, and I have to say, dear listener, it was not panicking, but I'm getting all these Facebook messages, and Darcy's going, I'll be here soon. I'll be here by 10 to. No, I'll be here. Oh, it's 8 minutes. That's fine. It's okay. Anyway, first of all, guys, so pleased that you could make it in here. Lizzie, I'm going to start with you. How are you coping with this weather?
Actually, I quite enjoy the warm weather, so I'm enjoying it. It has been hot the last few days, especially when we just went down to Kurri. It's pretty humid there, but it's good. Better than England anyway. Well,
it is better. And you're from the south coast of England, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you're kind of used to it. I'm from Scotland. Anything is double figures, and it's freezing in the summer up there. Darcy, I have to say now, I haven't seen you for a couple of years. Let's give people some background first of all. You and I first met at King's Lynn in the UK probably, 6-7 years ago? Something like that?
08 maybe.
08, yeah, something like that. You were a young up-and-coming rider. Didn't really know much about you. Kevin Doolan actually said, there's this guy back in Australia. I thought, here we go, another one. And of course, your career started off pretty well with the Boston Club and King's Lynn. And I'm guessing you must have happy memories of your time over there.
Oh, for sure. It all had to start somewhere, and I was privileged that it was at King's Lynn. So, it was in my young days, but some good memories and some good times and something I'll cherish.
Yeah, and what was really interesting, when I told the people back in the UK, because I went on the Speedway forums, I said, I've got Darcy coming on. I got so many messages on Facebook saying send a love, and people in King's Lynn in particular. In fact, I got to tell you, and the pool people didn't like me anyway, so that's why they didn't respond. I got more response about you from King's Lynn fans than I did from pool, so that says how warmly they thought of you over there.
Yeah, well, we had a good year there. I was only there for a short year in 2009, but we won everything we could and had a great team, and it was one of the years that was pretty magical. So
it was, and of course you went on from there to ride for Poole, which was a very successful team as well. Darcy, just briefly touching on it, you were racing away, you were earning a living as a speedway rider, and you had what I've been describing as a life-changing crash. 2015?
Yeah, August.
So do you have any recollection of that, or is it sort of a distant memory?
Nah, the whole thing. I remember the whole day, and even the crash, even tumbling. I remember, tumbling, hitting the ground, and when you're tumbling at a certain speed, it's all blurry. But I remember hitting the ground, and pretty much straight away, as soon as I stopped, come to a halt, I knew something's wrong, and the paramedics were running over to me, and I had told them, I can't feel nothing. I couldn't even feel my arms at that point. I broke my wrist in the same crash, and I was like, my wrist is a little bit sore, but it's so little, I don't know what's going on. So, then they said, you got a broken arm, but it was pretty much straight to hospital, and laying on the bed in hospital when they're running through and just seeing the flash and the lights go past me. That's the last memory I got, and then, straight into surgery, and maybe a day and a half later, I sort of, got off the drugs and come to.
I mean, the information, and it's always the way when you read the forums, you read all the information, it was kind of sketchy and we weren't quite sure what was going on. What was amazing was, and not just in the UK and Australia, but around the world, the sort of affection that people had for you, and all they wanted was information. They wanted to know how you were doing. Lizzie, for you, it must have been a nightmare as well, just not knowing what was actually going on.
Yeah, I was actually on holiday when he crashed in Spain, and I remember Joe from Monster Energy phoned me up, and I just panicked because some Polish fans and stuff had already started sending me messages, so I knew there was something wrong. And I remember reading something on Facebook that Darcy Ward has died in tragic accident, and
Wow.
Straight away, it's just people who don't know that the rumours start spreading pretty quickly, but I knew obviously from Joe straight away what the problem was. But
and this is the danger of Facebook and of the internet, because people put stuff up and sometimes it's not malicious. One person, and even in translation, things can be from Polish to English. There was that confusion as well. So at what stage, Darcy, did you realise, hey, this is just pretty more than a normal broken wrist?
Oh, sort of waking up in the hospital, maybe 3 days after, when I had Monster Joe there. I had Chris Holder, Davey Watt, Neil Middleditch had flown over, Joe's wife, Daria. So they were all around me, and they were only allowed in there during the day. But just a couple of days later, man, just I guess it took me about a month to realise what had actually gone on. But after a couple of days, I'd known that something was wrong, and that possibly it was never going to be the same. But about a month later, I'd realised fully that, this is what's going to happen, and this is what now is. So,
but what's fascinating is looking at you now, and I haven't, obviously, we haven't seen each other for a few years. Looking at you now, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know, because you do appear to be getting back some upper body strength. Clearly, having been a sportsman, having been an athlete, having had physical fitness, that must have helped you. And I'm guessing this is one of your aims, is to get your upper body strength back.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, being a professional sportsman, we were all in good shape. So, when I had the crash, my body was in the best shape it could have been. But, we're still rehabbing at the moment, and I actually enjoy it. It's good fun. I've made a best friend out of it, down to making strides. So, I enjoy it, and, it's hard work. It's not as hard for normal people, but for me it's very hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. And people complain about any kind of rehabilitation, any kind of physio.
Oh, it's not fun.
No, I wouldn't imagine. What about you, Lizzie? I mean, it must be difficult for you, but having said that, encouraging to see the progress.
Yeah, actually, since I remember obviously the day I first saw Darcy after his crash, he was awful. He just looked so gaunt, so skinny and terrible. But now
he was never fat to begin with, was he?
I know,
really?
But he's come on leaps and bounds now, and the progress is getting slower because it's getting harder. But he's working really hard. He's lucky he's still got some spasms in his legs, so it's keeping the tone, so he's not got really skinny legs like a lot of the boys have. But no, it's been really good, really positive so far.
And what's great to see as well, obviously you still have a keen interest in the sport. I mean, we saw you've been sort of following. You went down. Did you have one of these 24-hour trips down to the Australian titles?
Yeah, we did on the weekend. Got down there Saturday, back Sunday morning. Yeah, it's hectic.
You see, people back in the UK don't get that. They think, wow, from Brisbane to Sydney, that's a holiday. That's like a full thing. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little break, because what I want to do when we come back is talk about this meeting, and one man in particular. We got to talk about Ivor Harm, because you were telling me he was your first ever sponsor.
He was a man that helped me and my father get to where I got in the sport, I guess.
Yeah, and he came to see me to tell me about the meeting and whatever, and I was just, his generosity knows no bounds, but it's almost like he's a second father figure to you. He cares about you that much.
Yeah, very much so.
So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the meeting, and I'm very excited to see Jason Crump back on a bike again, so we're going to mention all of that stuff as well. If you've got any questions for Darcy, you can post them on the Facebook page. I can't guarantee that we'll read any of them out, but hey, we're just trying to make it interactive on the show this morning. If you just joined us, it is 101 FM. Mike Bennett here. We got Darcy Ward here. We got Lizzie here as well, and we got some great music too.